So what's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscriber trying. You see the thumbnail. Blackness versus American politics. So I forgot what I was watching. Um, but of course, Blackness in America came into play. High on the Hog. That's what I was watching on Netflix. And the thing about Blackness in American politics, same thing happened with the Asian hate crime bill, right? Where you hear people talking about, slavery was a long time ago. We're better off than we were before. We're making progress. And basically, why you see black people always kind of looking at the system with the side eye and looking at America with the side eyes, because all of the American policies from all of those years ago when things were so wrong are still in play. So Blackness in American politics is like it's like a fake friend. It's like a frenemy. Well, slavery is over, yeah, but locking us out of capitalism isn't. But it's better than it was, yeah, because it's better than it was in the sense of we need to get a few people successful while the masses are not. But other groups, the masses, can be successful and few are not. So it's like, I got you. The successes of Black America in spite of American policies. And then people try to play the game like, well, if you just work hard and blah, blah, blah. Nobody in this country worked hard. Let's just get it. Let's just stop. Stop. When your founding fathers weren't lazy enough to actually build their own homes and actually, and they were buying slaves because they were too lazy to work. They never pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. Stop. And American politics and the policies come from a group of lazy guys who either murdered, stole, or were just flat out lazy, and they finessed the way to not do any work. That is what the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and all of these amendments and the laws is really rooted in: laziness, murder, theft, right? So Blackness in American politics is just, par for the course. And that's why, when I referenced the Stop Asian Hate, the Asian crime bill, it's a wonder why these people could just come together all overnight and just, it's all wrong. It's all wrong. You don't do anything to these people. But, how much of that has to do with, how much does the Asian hate crime bill and it being passed so overwhelmingly by both Republicans and Democrats have to do with the fact that like 40% of Asian women date out and they date predominantly white men? How much of that bill has to do with that? Just asking. Because we do know one thing about America: if you're Black, these laws are made to benefit people's, money and sexual urges. So when people go, huh? What? Yeah. You gotta find a father that's a pedophile. What y'all think them slave owners was? They was pedophiles. We live in a society where people bring up civil rights, but you gerrymander civil rights to have everybody else involved in it, right? So this is American politics with Blackness. It can't be anything just for us, right? But it can be something just for other people. Now, where all this stuff goes left is very simple. You don't want people protesting or calling out the country's wickedness, and then other countries calls out this country's wickedness, even though they're just trying to deflect from their own deeds in their own country. But they can make a good point nonetheless. Where all this really goes left at the end of the day is because all of this technology and camera footage and audio footage keep showing how America's policies and politics and laws, they're not uniform. They're never being uniform. You know, you can do that. You need to get life. They could do that maybe 3 days. The reason I'm bringing that up because I saw there was this lady, Hispanic lady who assaulted a stewardess on a Southwest Airlines plane, and I'm like, she should get like 5 years, right? Because that's a federal offense, assaulting basically a federal employee on a plane. Yeah, that's a federal offense. Like that's like a 5-year mandatory, if I'm not mistaken. But the way they're talking about it, it's like, oh well, she's we're just gonna stop alcohol on the plane. This is why Blackness and American policies don't go together, because federal offenses aren't federal offenses. Mandatory minimums aren't mandatory minimums. I.e., accountability isn't accountability in this country. And it was never meant to be used in such a way in the first place. The eminent domains and gerrymandering itself and redlining. What do you call that? The banking scandal, when the banking bubble burst and this, that, and the third. Like all of these things that keep happening over and over and over again, they have a racial component to it, and nobody wants to say, that's just America. That's the American policies. And then when people are black and say, yeah, that's how y'all get down. We've changed. How have you changed when you have the same policies from 50 years ago, 75 years ago, 100 years ago, 150 years ago, in place to this day, and you following the letter of the law of people you felt like were possibly not good human beings, but you're still going to implement their laws for your benefit. So it's basically an accomplice, with time passed. So it's kind of like when the MLB got on all of the baseball players for being on steroids, but the commissioner made steroids legal, so that whole steroid era was legal as a mug. Whole steroid era was legal. So now they're using steroids. But the rules about the steroids, white guy says it's legal, white players benefit from it, but everybody blames the black guy, i.e. Barry Bonds. It's just ridiculous. But and a bunch of other people who are not black, who are white and Hispanic, predominantly get caught, but it's the black guy who actually never got caught. But that's a whole nother story. Like, share, subscribe, or die. Try and catch you on the next one. Peace.